No birthday is complete without a party. While there have been examples of birthday festivities throughout history, the honorees tend to be rich, famous, or powerful. Even in America, as recently as the late 1800s, the idea of a birthday party with cake, candles, and presents was largely reserved for wealthy Protestant families. But by the early 20th century, the tradition had taken hold for everyone, regardless of status. But to have the perfect birthday party, there are a lot of decisions to make. Who to invite, what flavor cake to get, and maybe, most importantly, where to have it. It should be somewhere fun with tons of games and mediocre food and maybe even robots. Somewhere where we could spend a ton of money to collect tickets to trade for pretty dumb things. A place where we can make incredible memories. But there are two places that come to mind, and we have to figure out which one is best. And that's why this week's On Brand is our second birthday brand battle. Chuck E. Cheese versus Dave & Buster's.
You're all jazzed up, really having a cow. You want your favorite show and it's on right now. It's on brand.
Welcome to On Brand Birthday Edition with Jon and Marisa.
Happy birthday. Ho, ho, ho. I don't know what you do for birthdays. My mom has gotten me to hate the birthday song.
Why?
She says, and now I cannot agree with her more. It's so depressing.
You know what? It's because people sing it too slow. This is the problem. People go, happy birthday. No. It needs to be happy birthday to you.
Happy birthday to you. It's got to be jazzy.
Yes,
it's
jazzy.
It's like, she's like, once I think she's like, I feel like I'm at a funeral. So now we do, Stevie Wonder has a fun, like, happy birthday. Isn't that him?
That's a good one, yeah.
But yeah, it's too depressing. So I'm against the birthday song.
I love TGI Fridays. My best friend in high school worked. They had their own birthday song. Don't you love when a restaurant does their own little birthday song?
I didn't even know that was a thing.
Wait, what?
I didn't know that was a thing.
It's like, it'll be like, today it is your birthday from all of us to you. We wish you happy birthday. Na. It's like they do like their own little twist on it.
That does sound familiar.
I haven't introduced myself. I'm Marisa.
Oh, well, did you say welcome to On Brand even? Yeah. For some reason, we're a little off today. We haven't done a battle in a while. This is our third battle.
I got really scared working on this episode. I don't know, because we're just used to doing a certain thing. And so we kind of like, you'll run through it and you'll be, I don't know what Jon has in his pocket. I didn't take debate in high school. I don't like confrontation or conflict. I am scared.
Okay, so here's the history of the on-brand battles. The first one we did, I don't know who came up with it. I think I was like, let's do a battle. It was Hershey versus Mars.
Yes.
And I'm a double Virgo. I came up with all these rules. I was like, okay, each person could come in for 1 minute and tell the history, and then you have to have 3 of these, and we'll do this and go back and forth. And a couple people told us that it felt a little, they were like, I feel like mom and dad are fighting. So it came off a little more aggressive than we wanted. Then the last one was our last birthday. We did Duncan Hines versus Betty Crocker. Mm-hmm. And that felt more kind of like a normal episode, but just like minier versions for each brand. We kind of went back and forth. And then this one, I was like, I don't know, maybe we'll talk about the history, the slogan, how much it cost.
This is actually very on brand for a birthday party. You are stressed out so much about the details that you forget to have fun. So let's just remember we're with our friends. We're having a good time. Sure, maybe we miss a category. Maybe Jon has a long thing. I have a short thing. Who cares? It's a birthday. Let's just have a good time.
Jon has a long thing. I think I won. I will say, I was like, I feel like we should have 1 page of history. And then like my page, like I started to get down to the very end and I was like, I need more than a page. So I took my font from an 11 to a 10.
No one's seeing this.
But I do. I'm like, I stayed within the rules.
Oh my God, you're insane. Yeah.
I just love research.
I know, it's fun. It was a short kind of week for me work-wise because I just got back from Oklahoma. Of course, I went to Brahms.
Oh yeah, everyone was like, they've got to go to Brahms.
We got to go to Brahms. I even got an insulated tote bag from Brahms.
We only want Trader Joe's.
And something I
bags.
love about Brahms, if you're not familiar, is the logo has not changed since the 80s. So it is a really fun place to visit. They are famous for their burgers, for their milks, their dairy products. It's a strange place. It'd be like if Wendy's also had a little grocery store in it. So there's like a grocery store with like 2 checkout counters with like conveyor belts. So you like go in and you like get like a banana split and a tomato. It's very funny. It's a strange place, but the burger was great. Crinkle cut fries. I got a swirl chocolate vanilla cone. It was kind of like a frozen custard. Frozen custard is a big thing in the Midwest. It was kind of like a custardy soft
love
serve.
Frozen custard.
So good. And when I tell you, the Coke was hitting.
Crisp. It was
Some fast food places, you hear this about McDonald's, the straw was fat as
McDonald's has the whole thing. Everyone's like, it's got a different ratio of carbonation. It's got a bigger tube with the straw.
The tube was big. The ratio was right. The syrup was perfect. The carbonation was popping. Sometimes you get like a flat Coke out of a machine. Everything was on fire.
I love that.
So fun. I wish you could come and eat some of these fun Oklahoma foods. The one thing I didn't get to have was Schlotzky's, which is my favorite sandwich in Oklahoma. And we just didn't get around to it. And then I was so excited. We got to have it in the airport when we leave.
Oh.
Closed.
No.
Now, a wine bar.
No. Oh, like closed.
Like not there. Like gone, replaced. Is this the most airport wine bar name? Crew. C-R-U with a dash over the U. I swear every wine bar I saw in every airport, Denver, LA.
If the servers are not dressed like flight attendants, and when they bring you your drink, if they don't bring it in like an airplane, I want no part of it.
I agree. Why aren't there more like airplane themed restaurants at the airport?
It should all be airport themed. I want to know exactly where I am. I want sandwiches to be cut out in the shape of planes. Paper. The menu should be a paper airplane that they throw at you from the hostess desk.
I love that.
There's something about, it's happened to me more than once, but I can't remember exactly when, going to a place that you've been a million times and it's closed. And you're like, how is this real? Like, how do I not know it's closed? Why is it not, like, you're gone? Like, you couldn't get through it?
And for some reason, I feel like I should have been told. Like, I should have gotten, like, a letter in the mail or something.
Or at least, I mean, I get a text about every thought Pottery Barn has. Like, did you forget about this stocking? Yeah, bitch, it's May.
Okay, I wanted 10% off. That doesn't give you access to text me 3 times a day for all of eternity. It was not worth it.
Did you forget about us? No, I changed my mind.
Oh, and you know what? The secret code that I had to access by giving you my phone number? Welcome 10.
Welcome 10. Oh, you know what's the worst? Using Welcome 10 and it says, you've already used this code.
You know the trick.
Welcome 20?
You make...
Don't say make a new account.
No, you make a new account, but you put in just periods in your email address. Because you know periods don't count.
I have heard that.
Yeah, so you can just put a period anywhere, and if it'll just like still send it to your regular email. They all go to the same place.
What do you mean put a period anywhere? I can do, my email is jizz4john, so I can put a period anywhere in there.
j.is.john@gmail.com, and it'll still go to you, but the coupon box doesn't know that that's you. They think it's a new person.
Are you? Oh, well,
I am so sure.
It's not just more periods together like J is for John ... or J is for...
Anywhere in the name. The periods don't matter on possible? Gmail. I know. They don't matter.
Magic. Well, I got in a fight with my barber yesterday.
I was going to say, you have a lovely haircut. Is this the debut?
This is the debut.
Great.
I hadn't had a haircut since December 4th. It had gotten a little... COVID-y, I turned into like, we weren't doing the show then.
You had a ponytail.
I looked like Willie Nelson. People say Newt Gingrich and Captain Kangaroo. I was dead on Willie Nelson during COVID.
Yeah, you had 2 long stinky braids.
Wouldn't leave the house without a bandana. It was a scene.
Do you still have a bandana drawer?
Oh, yeah. I still have a Old Navy cloth mask drawer.
I threw those out with glee.
I felt like they're going to be part of like my archive.
The elastics all stretched out and limp.
They just use like old... I mean, I did, like, as much as I hated COVID, obviously it was horrible. There was a few things in it that I didn't mind. I love being home, and I love, like, not having to be like, I don't want to feel like going to dinner. Like, no one asked. So I just got to be home. And I loved the beginning mask period where everything, like Old Navy would sell like a 6-pack of masks that they made just from like remnants of their clothing. And I loved it.
I liked that. That was very like war ration-y, which I kind of liked. Yeah.
And then they're like, no, you got to use like
an old Capri from 2009.
I literally saw an N95 in my bathroom today after I got out of the shower, sitting on the shelf. I saw it in the corner of my eye. I thought it was a bra. I was like, whose bra is that? And I was like, oh, that's a mask.
A bra.
So anyway, speaking of COVID, during COVID, my barber that I had gone to for several years, who I didn't love, but I'm a creature of habit. And once I find someone that can cut my hair, I will go to them forever, closed down. So I was without a barber. And for me...
Did he have 2 big scissors for hands?
Yeah.
Did you get like a little turned on when he gave you a haircut?
He wore slacks and suspenders. Wait,
Did he?
I thought you were doing
Edward Scissorhands.
Yeah.
I didn't know he wore suspenders.
You don't remember? He cut his suspenders with his scissors.
Yeah, I guess I didn't retain that moment quite as much.
God, you're derailing this story. We have a long birthday episode.
That's true.
Okay, so I find this new barber in my neighborhood. I like Yelped it, like best barbers in LA. Found this like little barber by my house, like old school barber, which was kind of like the one I'd gone to. There's like a bunch of greasers.
Yes.
Is that bad to say?
Rudy's. I don't think greasers is a slur.
It's not. Okay. So not Rudy's. I don't know. In this day and age, I don't know what I can say.
I think it's like a chosen lifestyle.
I become so paranoid about offending everybody. Like yesterday, my friend Erin, who listens to this show, she posted these books that she had gotten at the library. She's like, got a little stash of books at the library. And one of them was called Easy Beans because she likes to cook like you.
Yeah.
And I was going to write... Easy Beans, wasn't that your nickname in high school? And then I was like, what if she gets offended? So then I wrote, Easy Beans was my nickname in high school. And I was like, I'll take the hit.
I'm unoffendable.
But that's how much I worry about like
so
hurting people's feelings.
Yeah, it's a tough time.
So I get this.
Not your barber, though.
Not my barber.
Some people you're really worried about offending. The driver who cuts you off, let's just say, we're not worried about pissing them off.
I have one of those last week, but we can't. I have such a stack of stories that I keep. Now we kind of only do like one story per episode.
Sure.
I have a stack of things. I'm still trying to get to the curbside guy from my trip a month ago.
Oh my God.
Which I haven't gotten to, but now we've got the barber.
Okay, you know what? If you're interested in John's, you're like Felix the cat with your bag.
I've got a bag of stories.
Off-brand is where you'll find those.
So this is only the 3rd time I've gone to this barber. He lives close. His rates are good. It's $40 for a haircut, which is high, but like the places I have been going,
haircuts are unbelievable.
They've gotten up to. I was spending $75 plus a tip. I'm almost $100 in for a haircut.
Why is a hair cutter making as much money as like a psychotherapist?
They're gonna say it's like
a psychic.
A psychic.
I mean, hey, all I'll say, use your gift certificate because that psychic was not cheap.
I know, and I literally just keep forgetting.
She's going to be priced out of LA and she's going to be moving out of town, I'm sure, any minute. We have to see the psychic.
We have to do it. Okay, so I've been to this barber. This is my 3rd time going. First time, I had such an enjoyable time. He knew all the we talked music. He spends like an hour on my hair. I have a boy's haircut. It's pretty easy.
Yeah.
But like we talked about The Cure. He loves Morrissey. Like he knew who the Cocteau Twins were. Talked music the whole time. I was like, oh my God, I found a reasonably priced barber who I can actually talk to. Because my last barber, I was pretty much silent the whole cut.
Yeah.
I hate being silent and like it's so like so then I just pretend I'm asleep and then I actually fall asleep and then they're like, can you lift your head? Because I'll be like, I'll keep doing like the jerky thing. It's so
you pretend to be asleep so long that you actually fall asleep during a haircut.
I'm not gonna lie, and I probably shouldn't put this out there because someone's gonna Photoshop it. I'm a lot like Garfield. I can fall asleep anywhere. Like just like set me down. I can nod off. I'm not off doing.
Funny.
I've been in a Sudoku phase. Not off halfway and through a Sudoku. I'm like that old man now, sitting in his like chair, like just falling asleep during the show.
That is hilarious.
So we're talking concerts yesterday, and then like, so I have an issue with Morrissey. This is much more detail than a lot of people are going to care about. Long story short, Morrissey, he was in a band called The Smiths. They're iconic. He's amazing. He's a little controversial with some of his political views, so people are torn on him, but he's so iconic. We love his voice, blah, blah, blah. He is notorious for canceling shows last minute. So people are just used to it. His fans are just used to it. But I went and saw him last year. I was like on a trip with my Avatar gal pals. We were like in, I forget where, up in the mountains. I left that weekend trip a day early to come to the Morrissey show. Went to the Morrissey show at the Greek by my house. He plays 6 songs, then leaves stage, and then we realized it's been like 10 minutes and he's not there. Someone came out and was like, basically like, Morrissey thinks it's too cold. The show is over. And he left, and I lost my mind. Oh. I just went crazy. I was so mad. Yeah. So then I like, and the guy cutting my hair, I won't say his name. He knows this. So then I'm like, I was like, I know, I'm still trying to get over it. Like, I would like to see him again, but I'm still kind of been out of shape.
Because he had remembered that story from last time when you saw him.
Oh, yeah. And he just knows. He knows, like, he knew about it. He didn't go to that show. That show happened to be on his birthday, blah, blah, blah. But he's been many times where Morrissey's canceled. He's like, oh, you know what? I love that about Morrissey. And I'm like, you love that about Morrissey? I was like, you love that, like, people, like, paid money. And, like, he's like, yeah, I love that he sticks to his convictions. And I was like, it's not a conviction. I was like, that's not a conviction. He's like, he's an artist. And I was like, that's not art. I was like, and so we get into this fight. Like, and he had just started cutting my hair, and I'm like, John, he's gonna make you look like Captain Kangaroo. He's gonna give me bangs. Yeah. And so then, like, it's like getting in a fight with like your waiter, like before they bring out your food. Exactly. And you're just sitting there. This guy literally has blades in your head. Yeah, yeah. And there are times when I really get bent out of shape, I shut down. I like. I go quiet. I just don't want to, I'm like, so then I did that. I just shut down, and I didn't talk for probably 25 minutes from going like, this is our third time of like, to.
Did you fall asleep?
I didn't fall asleep because I was stewing.
Yeah, big stew.
I was in a pot of Dint Timor stew. And he's like jabbering with the other guys. He's talking so loud in my ears and blah, blah, blah. And the whole time I'm like, okay, John, we got to figure out a plan. Like, who's our next barber going to be? I was like, where should I start looking? I was like, how do I get out of this?
That's a bummer. I've had that before where like 1/15 into the haircut, you're plotting your next barber, your hair salon. You're like, okay, well, I liked that this place was closed. Maybe there's another place nearby. Okay. Like, you're just already strategizing how to get out of it.
I was like, how do I get out of this? And then, so a stew, mad, 20 minutes, 25 minutes, 30 minutes. And then he's like, so John, do you have any other concerts coming up? And I was like, well, I think I want to see Lady Gaga. He's like, oh, that'd be cool. I really like her. I heard, did you see Coachella? No. He's like, I heard it was really cool. And I was like, and I saw Beyonce last week. And I was like, oh, how was that? And then like, it just kind of like ran back up into like normal conversation. And then it got all kind of back to normal.
Did he not know that you were mad?
Oh, he had to know. And then like at the end of the haircut, I was like, I'm glad we were able to get over our thing, or like Morrissey thing. It's like, oh, I didn't have a thing. He's like, I could care less. And I was like, okay. Like I wasn't going to like get into that. And I left there feeling good. But then last night I was laying in bed and I was like, I still need to find a new barber, I think. So that was my ridiculous. It's like even that. There's so many times I just feel like Larry David. I'm like, how can I just? I was like, I'm looking forward to like my hair's long. I just want a haircut. How is it?
You know what's a bummer? So there's a barber shop in my neighborhood right across the street that I've been telling you to go to. It's cheap. It's always packed. It's like an old school barber shop. But the bummer is that when you go to a new person to get a haircut, your hair's grown out, so they don't know how you like it.
I take pictures. I take a series of 6 to 8 pictures and say, this is what I'm trying to get back to.
Really? So I was thinking, like, ideally you could, like, go to a barber now, like a future barber, and say, can you give me this in 2 months? And then they could maybe, like...
You think that's easier than taking a picture? Hey, I'm from the future. I arrived in a DeLorean. I should go with like dry ice in my pockets. Yeah. So I've just hit 88 miles per hour and be like, I'm going to be back here on June 24th. I need you to make me look like this. I can't send you a picture. Just remember it.
I'm just saying, like, when can like AI be useful? Like, this is like what we need. Like,
how's that AI?
I don't know.
That's not even AI.
I think it would really help because a lot of times you say, I want just my same haircut but shorter, and they're like, well, I didn't see your same haircut, so how about
my
I just
gosh.
do whatever the hell
No.
I want?
I've taken pictures to barbers my whole life. There was a period where I really liked Michael Jackson's hair and took a picture. I was like, I want to look like.
Wait.
I can't.
What era?
I can't remember the time. He had a really good haircut. I want to say remember the time.
Okay.
I don't remember. I'd have to. But it was like I want to look like this. Like
Your hair texture doesn't resemble Michael's at all.
No, but it was just like, I mean, he had soft hair at the time. But I remember back, I mean, even when I was a kid, because I would usually go to like salons. And like there was something about, I don't know if they still do this now that I think about it. No place
The
now.
cape, yeah.
Not the cape. Oh, so here's what I do love
Do
about
you just wear your vampire cape? You just spin it around so that the tie is in the back? She's like, okay, and
I'm
I
like,
have my own.
I got this. And I just throw it over myself. No, I will say they've got great capes. They're old school. And so this place and the place that closed during COVID, when they're done with the cut, they pull out this like vintage massage thing and they like on my back for like 5 minutes.
That's great.
And he does the clippers over my eyebrows and because I get my dad like crazy
long
eyebrows. So I love all those
What
little
street
things.
is this
Oh,
on?
and when he cleans up my back, like my neck, he puts on warm shaving cream.
Ooh,
It's
that's
like all
nice.
these little niceties that I
Yes.
really like.
What street is this on?
This is just on Santa Monica, Normandy.
Okay.
Right across from Desano's
There's
Pizza.
an old school one on Hollywood Boulevard.
Oh, I know what you're talking about,
Okay.
by Wacko.
Yeah.
Yeah. I did used to enjoy going to a barber where you would get like a phone book of hairstyles. And you would just sit there and like flip
yes.
through it and be like, it was like, they were always like, kind of like 3 years too old, but it was like, do I want to be like 1 foot on a stair step with like a perm, or like there was like, do I want to be holding my collar up with like bangs?
Honestly, I would prefer that. I think those need to come back. I famously modeled in one of those.
Oh, that's right. We'll have to
I'll have
post
to
those.
post that picture.
I forgot about your
My
mom.
hairdresser, she was taking pictures. It's because it's like, what are these? Like, who are these people?
I know.
I think I was like a sophomore in high school, and my hairdresser was like, "Oh, I have one. I'm gonna be getting one of those magazines. Like, can I use your head?" And I was like, "Yeah, sure."
That's
I
so
felt like I
funny.
think I even told people that I was a model. Oh, I'd love to, but I have a modeling gig that day. I'm sorry, what? Yes, unpaid, but I'm really gonna open some doors.
You're like Gail, who's like, I still have a hard time calling myself an astronaut. It's like, girl, you're not.
Is your modeling agency currently accepting people with clear braces? If so, I'm your gal.
I'm just the one you're looking for.
I'll have to find that pic.
Yeah, we'll definitely post those or put them in the
Definitely.
supplementals for the
And
birthday
pictures
episode.
of your haircut.
And my haircut. It'll be an
All
interesting.
6 pictures of your haircut.
I need one from the back because all mine.
I'll
It's
take
like,
it.
yeah, I'll have to do that.
Great.
So it's our birthday, 2-year anniversary, 2-year birthday
That's
of
right.
On Brand with Jon and
Crazy.
Marisa. 104 brands.
We're still sweating and nervous.
We're still nervous
Scared.
before every show. We were just saying, like, when do we get to be like the Doughboys where we're just like cool and collected? We're like, I don't know what we're doing.
I know. We care too much.
We care so much. Not that they don't care.
They don't.
No, we love them. But it's our birthday, so we are going to do what we did last year. We had a battle. We're going to battle it out. Last year, we tried to decide
Let's duke it.
what was the best box cake you could have for your birthday. And today, we're going to decide where is the best place to have your birthday.
Right.
John, Glover, Jizz for John, Vampire Boy, Goth Gal, Beyonce, Beehive, Swifty is here to represent Chuck E. Cheese. And Marissa, because she has actually had a birthday party at this venue, is here to represent.
Dave and Buster's.
Oh.
Okay. This is huge.
So this is going to be a little loosey-goosey. We have a few categories. We're going to kind of just go through it. I think the natural thing to do in the beginning is just the history of these brands. Kind of
love
like
it.
a cliff noted, and I'm sure many young people don't know what a cliff note is. It used to be like if you were in school.
That is so funny. I haven't thought about that. I've used Cliff Notes like so many times since I've actually cracked a Cliff Note. I'm sure that is like the most dated reference. If you had to read like Oliver
More than
Twist,
Joan Crawford.
yes. If you had to read Oliver Twist for school,
Yeah.
school, you
School.
could also, instead of reading the book, paper book, you could go to Barnes and Noble, Borders Books and Music, Crown Books. we
Your
had in my
local
town,
bookstore.
Your local book provider.
In
and
the
buy
back of the store, find a rack.
a little yellow pamphlet that would summarize the book.
Yeah.
And that would do in a pinch.
And every teacher knew what that summary was. So if you tried to use that,
Yes.
all the things we did were so archaic.
I know. It's so funny.
I used to walk to the grocery store to use a payphone to call my girlfriend.
Yeah.
Because if you had a house with a phone, the only one person could use it as a time. And if you wanted privacy, you had to stand outside of Kroger.
Better time.
In Sharonville. All right, so Chuck E. Cheese. Where did this place come from? What does it evoke for you? It is nostalgia. It is sad. It's a lot of things. It's shitty pizza. It's like, I don't have the best... I have no real memories of Chuck E. Cheese other than pop culture references. I don't know that I ever actually had a party at Chuck E. Cheese.
You've been to a Chuck E. Cheese.
I've been in a Chuck E. Cheese as an adult. I feel like I went in a couple years ago at Eagle Rock just to see what it was like inside. Actually, it was when we were when we first started the pod, because I was like, I was like, we should do Chuck E. Cheese. And then I saw the Doughboys had done it on I think their 11th episode. I was like, we should do it on the 11th as kind of an homage to them or something. And then I just forgot about it.
That's so funny.
Yeah, I don't know that I've been to a party there, but in my mind, it's I think we probably all have a lot of the same visuals of it. Like when for Gen X, it was there was the big animatronic band. There's several characters. They're playing music. It's kids. It's I always assumed it was kind of low rent pizza. You play games, you win tickets, you get a prize, you have a birthday party. It's that's it. That's what it is. And I think, it's come a long way. And I think that's basically what it is now. It's gone through a lot of changes over the years, but I did not know the history of it. And I got to say, I do think it would merit an episode on its own because the history is pretty interesting. So let's get into it, shall we? So you can't talk about Chuck E. Cheese without talking about Nolan Bushnell. Are you familiar with him?
Never heard of him.
Okay, well, let's get to know him. He was born in 1943, grew up in Utah. He liked to tinker with things. He liked to build things. He would go to this abandoned place where they had old World War II planes. Oh. And because they would recycle
airfield?
I think an airfield is when it's still being
Jay
used.
Leno's garage.
One more.
The Ford Museum. They probably have those there.
They do.
Do they really?
And really good pressed pennies, which of all the places I've been did not get a pressed penny. I don't even understand. And they had 60. So he would go into these old abandoned planes and take out wires and stuff. And he would build things. He was just a tinkering boy.
That doesn't seem allowed.
It's the 50s.
That's true. It's a different time.
Yeah. He built this concrete wall in his backyard so he could blow things up. He was just he's Dennis the Menace, basically. Oh, yeah. He went to college and he stuttered. He had a stuttering problem. He went to college and studied computer graphics, and then he got a summer job at an amusement park where he got promoted to be in charge of all the arcade and carnival games. Okay.
I'm seeing early seedlings.
Maybe you're seeing seedlings there. 1969, he moves to Silicon Valley, and he co-creates the first commercial video game ever called Computer Space. That game would eventually evolve into what is now known as the legendary game Pong, which I'm sure we've all heard of. So him creating that earns him the title of the father of video games. Pong is so popular that he creates a little company that you might have heard of called Atari. Pull over. Everyone, if you have not pulled over, pull your car over.
Wow.
So he creates Atari, and Atari, as we know, brings video games into the home. They create Pong for the home console. They create Asteroids. They create Space Invaders. All these legendary, iconic games.
I'm shocked.
In 1974, he hires a guy to help him out. That guy's name? Steve Jobs. Get out of your car.
You're kidding.
You've pulled over. Literally get out of the car and lay down.
Lay down in the middle of the road.
Get a damp cloth. Pat your head.
Have your wife set some flares around your body. Divert traffic. Take a break.
So Steve Jobs ends up working at Atari for a while, and then he's like, you know what? I'm going to dip. I'm going to go to India because I need to go on a spiritual journey.
This is I want to see the feature film.
I don't know who would star in it. We'll have to figure that out. We'll talk about that after the show.
Not Matt Damon.
Matt Damon. Maybe Matt Damon. So Steve Jobs leaves. He goes on a spiritual quest. Atari continues to do their thing. The next year, 1975, Steve Jobs comes back and approaches Bushnell about investing in his new home computer system, the Apple I.
This is crazy.
Which was built from parts that he got at Atari, which was Bushnell's company.
Oh my God. None of this came up in the Apple. This is like, you uncovered like, did you see this on a microfiche?
I have an Emmy. I mean, this is what I do. I spend nights.
It's not in the Apple Wikipedia.
Okay, here's the thing. If you're going to use Wikipedia, everything you come across in Wikipedia, you have to go to that Wikipedia.
Go to the original source.
So I go to Apple Wikipedia, I go to Chuck E. Cheese, I go to Bushnell's, I go to Atari's.
Well, but not even that. You go down and find the source material because there's like gems. Like they'll use one sentence. You go down and you're like, oh my God, there's all these other like juicier little fun tidbits that didn't even make the paragraph.
I know. Yeah, they'll use like one little sentence from an article. So Steve asked Bushnell if he wants to, invest in this. But Bushnell's like, you know what? I really think I want Atari to stay focused on video games. I'm going to have to pass on that.
Crazy.
Steve's like, okay. Later that same year, Steve comes back to Bushnell and he's like, you know what? What if I give you 1/3 equity stake in Apple for if you could give us like $50,000? And Bushnell says no. He would later be quoted saying, I was so smart. I said no. It's kind of fun to think about when I'm not crying.
That's fun.
He would have been a trillionaire.
That's fun.
For $50,000. So 1976, Atari is doing well, but to get to the next level, he needs a new console, and he knows that to do that, he's going to need a lot of money. So he decides to sell Atari to get that capital. He ends up selling it to Warner Communications for $28 million. He personally gets $15 million of that and stays on at the company. So now it's 1977, and then before he even started Atari, he would drive around the Bay Area, and he would look at pizza parlors and restaurants and dream of, like, opening one someday. He thought, like, it would be, like, a fun thing to do, but he knew that it would cost a lot of money, so he kind of just put a pin in that dream, and then he went on to do Atari and all these other things. But now the guy's rich. I mean, $15 million in the 70s is like $700 trillion now.
Unreal. He's rolling it, dough.
So then he has kind of his aha moment, and he wants to expand video game arcades beyond where they are now. Normally, you'll find them in like adult locations like pool halls. And he's like, what if there's like a family-friendly place? I have this company that makes video games. I've always wanted to have a restaurant or pizza parlor. What if I were to create a pizza parlor that had my video games in it?
Yes.
Could there be better synergy? So, and don't forget, he also had like the amusement park experience from in his college. This has kind of been ingrained with him. From what I've learned about this guy, because Chuck E. Cheese is even where it ends. I don't go beyond it. But he's still living, and he just goes on to do thing after thing after thing. This guy's like a genius of our time.
Very motivated. Statue in every town square.
Exactly. So if you have a kid who's blowing up things or like sneaking into planes and stealing their wires, let him do it, because you never know where that's going to end up being.
I love that.
Another thing, and this is something that I loved, that he really connected with at Disneyland, he loved the Enchanted Tiki Room. And that is one of my favorite things at Disneyland. I'm not a roller coaster rider, except for the new Star Wars thing I do love. The Enchanted Tiki Room, yes, it has the Dole Whip. I always say, I can't wait to get the Dole Whip. I literally never buy the Dole Whip. I don't think I've
serious?
Never. I've said for 20. It's so much sugar, and it's like so like it makes me sleepy.
Yeah, but you don't like. It's just not your favorite.
I love it, but it's like there's something about it's too much for me in the middle of the day to have.
God,
that.
I find it to be like the perfect respite because I've never been at Disneyland where it's not 140 degrees.
Yeah.
You've been walking around, you're sweating, you're exhausted, and then you can get a Dole Whip and sit in the cool, air-conditioned, dark, magical, enchanted tiki room and eat your Dole Whip.
If
it's
you
like
haven't
the
been,
best combo.
it is a perfect combo. I just never do.
You think
it.
they should come in like a mini?
I would love
size?
just a sample. Like if I was like, can I sample this? And they gave me like a little thing of it, I'd be like, I'm
good.
satisfied. I feel like I've done that at a yogurt store before.
You just leave.
I'm like, they're like, you can have up to 3 samples. I'm like, perfect. And I'm like, let me think about it. And then I have to go to the bathroom.
I'm going to take a lap and mull it over, decide what flavor I want to commit to.
Then I sneak out.
Yeah, sneak out the window.
So if you haven't been to the Enchanted Tiki Room, next time you're at Disneyland, I know it might be boring. You may think it's boring like the president thing, which I also
we love the president thing.
The robotic president. I don't know if is that where Abraham Lincoln gets a haircut? There's also one I've seen where Abraham...
There's so few robots left at Disneyland. You have to patronize them or else they will be gone forever.
Wow, now that you say that, because there's so few robots at Chuck E. Cheese, which we'll get to. Isn't it ironic that our whole lives were like the future is going to be robots, but now there's less robots than ever?
Robots are being eliminated at a rapid pace.
And the robots that we do have are those ones that get stuck at electric poles, like trying to deliver me a calzone.
That's a really good point. We need more Abraham Lincolns.
Yes.
And less...
Wallies. Wally delivery
Absolutely.
robots.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So he loved that. He also loved the County Bear Jamboree at Disneyland. So
yes, me too.
You can see all these pieces coming together. So he comes up with the concept of a pizza parlor with animatronics and Atari's arcade games. He decides to call the new venue Coyote Pizza. So he goes out, he buys a coyote costume and sends it out to the animatronic team, and they get to work on it, and they call him up and they're like, yo, there's a problem. He's like, what? They're like, this isn't a coyote, it's a rat. And he's like, what? And he's like, okay. He's like, all right, fine. He's like, well, I can't get another one. We won't call it Coyote Pizza. We will call it Rick's Rats Pizza.
That is so funny.
I love that he's not like, okay, I would be like, oh my God, okay, let me figure out where I can get a coyote. He's like, okay, cool. Rick's Rats. Next problem.
Rat at a Ratatouille, obviously.
Oh, of course.
But
Ratatouille hadn't been around yet.
We hadn't as a nation
embraced
rats and
rat chefs.
Rat chefs in restaurants. So this was very innovative at the time.
Well, the marketing team did not think so.
Okay.
They're like, you know what? Rats don't have the best reputation.
Sure.
In New York, they're taking over. People think of them as vermin. What if we were to call this Chuck E. Cheese? And he's like, yeah, that sounds great.
For a guy who's so bold and ambitious, he also has 0 opinions.
He's so rich. He doesn't care.
Doesn't care.
Doesn't matter to him. He's not like,
oh my gosh.
He's not he doesn't have a coyote
There's
tattooed.
no amount of rich that you would be for you to stop having opinions.
No, of course not. We're just different people. He's thinking about he's probably already thinking of his next...
the next thing. Yeah. Rat, coyote, what's the difference?
So May 17th... Oh my God.
Oh my God.
It's May 16th today at this recording. May 17th, 1977. However many years that is from tomorrow. He opens the first location called Chuck E. Cheese's Pizza Time Theater.
Whoa. The E stands for entertainment.
Yeah. Now, I don't know if it does. I don't know if it did. Maybe it did. I don't know.
As a kid, we always thought it was Chuck E. Cheese. It's an interesting choice for somebody who doesn't care or have any opinions. Chuck E. Cheese. It's so specific.
And it's like me with my rabbit. When I was a kid, I had a rabbit for so long, I changed his name every 8 years. First his name was Fluffy, then it was Fluffles, and then it was Mr. Fluffles. Mm-hmm. I think this has gone, it's been Chuck E. Cheese's, it's been Chuck E. Cheese. It's they've kind of altered the name over
They're
the
trying
years.
to get a lot of coupon codes at Pottery Barn, changing their name.
Oh my God.
Pull a fast one.
Yeah, they're all about getting welcome 10s to use over and over again. So he loves it. He thinks it's a great idea. He wants to open more of them, but Warner is like, we have zero interest in pizza parlors, robots, doing any of this. Uh-huh. And he's like, you know what? This is the future. I'm going to quit Atari.
Okay.
I would like to leave Atari. I will give you how about I give you $500,000? I get to keep Chuck E. Cheese. We'll part ways amicably. And they're like, later, kid.
God bless you. Wow, what an interesting man.
So he goes off. He opens 7 within a couple of years. And then in the early 80s, is it thriving? No. They file for bankruptcy. They get out of it. Over the years, it changes names a million times. Like I said, they're kind of changing their identity. They're trying to find their place in it. But it remains like a kid's birthday party place, basically.
Yeah.
And then I can get into, I don't know how far I should go into history. I can
This
get
was
into.
not one page of research.
Yeah, it literally is. It literally,
Tiny
it's
as
one
this
page
font.
and 3 sentences.
Okay. It was a tiny font.
I also don't just read exactly, like some of them are bullet points, so I
sure.
discuss. Like
No, it's fun. It's lively.
I mean, we've had people literally pull over on the side of the freeway. I want to give them.
They're laying down on a major interstate.
I want it to feel worth it for them. Why don't I leave that? We'll leave my story there.
Great.
Maybe we'll do maybe a catch up of where these companies are now later. So that's how Chuck E. Cheese came to be. If you find, I don't know, iconic people like Steve Jobs interesting, or
it's
like
very interesting.
the connections between all the like Apple and Chuck E. Cheese, you had no idea. Maybe this is where you'll vote for when you put your cursor to the vote. But I'd love to hear how Dave & Buster's came to be.
Well, you know what? Dave & Buster's, as you mentioned, it's very near and dear to my heart. I had my 30th birthday at Dave & Buster's, which you were very displeased to find out about.
God, I mean, but that was what, 14 years ago.
Do you like Dave & Buster's?
So I was grumpy that day for some reason. I don't remember why. I feel like I was grumpy. Here, from what I remember of Dave & Buster's is the games were like giant size versions of phone games. So there was like a giant Angry Birds game. And I felt like you couldn't play them as long as you wanted. Like I felt like you would finish a level and then it was like game over. It wasn't like game over when you died. It was like always trying to get a turn. It was trying to get more money out of me.
Yeah, that's fair. And you can assume that some of the games that are just like a giant iPhone are not my personal favorite games.
Oh, I know what your favorite one is. You were at this for like an hour and a half. That one that just has stacks and stacks of quarters or coins.
The coin pusher game.
And you like keep dropping a coin in and they have it. They're probably super glued down to the thing so they can't actually fall over.
I'm telling you, these coin pushers are a huge part of the Dave & Buster's experience. Recently, I haven't been to a Dave & Buster's, as we were next to one when we went to Islands after we did the Titanic escape room. We should have gone in. I feel like there was like a cover charge or something. There was like a bouncer outside. It was like something was going on there. We didn't end up going in, but my favorite game at one of these kind of places, there's a place Round One near us, which is very, very similar. They have Down the Clown, which is a game where you throw balls at carnival-style clowns. They tip down. It's a very efficient way to get a lot of tickets if the bonus is just right. My arm, when I tell you, I could not move it the next day with how hard I was throwing these balls. The same was at Dave & Buster's. The birthday party at Dave & Buster's was amazing for a few reasons. Number one, time of your life.
Yeah, of course. Memories you'll never forget.
Number two, you're the birthday girl. So that you have a card that has all your tokens and your tickets on it. At the end of the night, you're the birthday girl. Everybody's giving you their cards.
If you could see Marissa in the gift shop where I have never seen someone attempt to do math in this way before.
This
trying
was
to maximize
my beautiful mind moment.
Yeah, trying to maximize getting the most bang for your buck. And I think we ended up leaving with like a Game of Thrones Risk game.
Game of Thrones Risk, a camping hammock, lots of candy. Boy,
Smarties for days.
Smarties for days. And in my nightstand, I probably have like 12 of these game cards still. So yeah, it's huge. I love Dave & Buster's. We love games. I love, the environment is quite stimulating.
It's
overstimulating, some might say. Quite loud. You have to shout to be heard.
Yeah. I will say I did go to Dave & Buster's once for another birthday party with a friend, an actor friend who is wealthy.
Okay.
And so he, at the party, gave everybody a card with $100 on it. That's when I'm going to like Dave & Buster's.
Okay.
Cut to me like a customer service. Like, is there any way I can get cash back for this? I want to run over to Pottery Barn. They've been emailing me.
There's like a giant stainless steel penguin in my cart that I'm dying to pull the trigger on.
It's half off. All right.
So the history of Dave & Buster's. It's interesting because they're both like the same, similar-ish outcomes, but the roads to get there are unique. So the story of Dave & Buster's begins in Little Rock, Arkansas in the late 1970s. We have two men. We have James Buster Corley, okay. He has a bustling bar and restaurant called Buster's. It's said to be a hotspot for legislators, lobbyists, and Southern bond salesmen.
Nothing makes me think of a birthday party more than a lobbyist.
Imagine a 1970s bond salesman too. I'm imagining like what kind of bar is filled with lobbyists, bond salesmen, and legislators. I'm imagining like pinstripe. What are they wearing? Like big suits.
That sounds like one of those old jokes. So a lobbyist, bondsman go into a bar.
In Little Rock, Arkansas. That's important for the joke. Just next door, Dave Corriveau ran Cash McCool's. Now, this is my kind of place. Okay. Cash McCool's, which is an eclectic game parlor and saloon. So, like, they have games and a bar as well. So, the two establishments, they got kind of the same crowd. So, turns out people would, throughout the night, they would go back and forth between getting the food at Buster's and then all the games at Cash McCool's. So, they're noticing, like...
This doesn't seem efficient.
Did my lobbyist just, like, go next door to, like, play some arcade games? Did the lobbyist then just go back? Did my bond salesman just go over and like get a piece of pizza? Like, what's happening? Feels like we need to kind of join forces.
Dip your chocolate in my peanut butter.
Exactly. I'm sure they were post-coital when they had this conversation too. I'm imagining they were lovers. 70s lovers. On a big brown bed. Okay, so then they were noticing this pattern and they have like this idea. What if we combined both of these experiences, the experiences of dining, gaming, drinking, all under one roof? This is the 1970s, so there wasn't really an established market for this at the time. This was kind of like their original idea.
What's crazy is this is the exact same time as Chuck E. Cheese.
Crazy.
Yeah.
Crazy. So this was the birth of this revolutionary concept, an adult playground that fused dining, drinking, and gaming into one cohesive experience. And boy, does it. They moved to Dallas, Texas. In 1982, they opened the first Dave and Buster's. So Corley focused on the food and service, while Corriveau handled the entertainment and gaming. And the formula worked. By 1989, the Edison Brothers stores bought a majority stake in the company, helping them expand nationally. They went public in 1997 under the NASDAQ term, what do you call it? Play. And they are quite successful to this day. They've had a few dips over the years. I don't know how updated we want to get, but like, you know, obviously COVID for the in-person gaming industry has posed a bit of a challenge. But actually in 2024, they were having profits that preceded like their pre-COVID levels. So they're fully back, they're fully on the scene, and they have expansion worldwide. It's a really expensive restaurant to run. It costs like $10 million to open a Dave & Buster's.
Jesus.
And they are still turning a profit, and they're the gaming destination for anybody who's turning 30 and wants to have a good time.
So I think what seems like might be the big difference, and maybe we'll have on the vote for the freaks.
Oh yeah, did we say at the end? Well, at the end, you can make your decision, and then we'll post it on Instagram, and you can vote.
Yeah, we're going to have the freaks decide which brand, who wins the battle. But maybe, I mean, I do feel like there's like, if you're having a party, like I do feel like Dave & Buster's is a slightly older crowd, maybe teen up, and then Chuck E. Cheese does seem like it's teen down.
That is a really good point.
So maybe we cover both. But since you went it through, I'll just kind of finish up where Chuck E. Cheese is now, because I do think of one thing that they did that I thought was so interesting during COVID, because obviously they had the same struggles. All of a sudden, they're known for having very close proximity parties, like basically a room with 1 million families and kids in it.
Yes.
So they weren't able to do that. So all of a sudden, I think it was in 2019, 2020, someone ordered some pizza from a place called Pasquale's Pizza and Wings. And it got to their house, and she was like, this feels like Chuck E. Cheese.
Unreal.
She called her like food delivery person, was like, where did you pick this up? And he was like, I picked it up at a Chuck E. Cheese, and it had a sign on the window that was like Pasquale's Pizza. So, and that name is a character of one of the characters in the Chuck E. Cheese mascot.
That is so funny.
What they did during COVID was, and I'm assuming, I didn't see this, but I'm assuming because they maybe thought people wouldn't, that they don't think of Chuck E. Cheese as being like a place that you order food out.
Sure.
They created this whole like fake pizza place.
Genius.
It really was genius.
Is the pizza good?
Apparently, and people are like, and they're like, by the way, it's not the same pizza. Other people think they also were using it to test out this new pizza recipe that they wanted to introduce. Like they said they were making the pizza from scratch, and it was this whole different thing. So I thought that was really fascinating. And it's kind of similar to what you were saying about Dave & Buster's, is they're now at a point where parties are back strong.
Mm-hmm.
I think you're going to a Chuck E. Cheese party, or was it Christine?
Yeah, no, I have a Chuck E. Cheese party coming up.
You have
I haven't been. I had my full disclosure. This could be off the record if it affects your voting. I had my 5th birthday party at Chuck E. Cheese, and I do have home video.
Oh my God, you have to put that up.
I'll have to find it.
We'll have to find that. So their parent company did file for bankruptcy in 2020, but they came out of it. And in the last 5 years, they have spent over $300 million to remodel their fun centers. I think all the restaurants except 3, they've gotten rid of all the animatronics, which is super sad.
Such a bummer, because knowing that it's a kids restaurant, obviously, but the people who have kids now are like old millennials or young millennials who have a memory of going to Chuck E. Cheese and they remember the animatronics. It feels like that would be such a good draw for the nostalgia factor.
Yeah, I know.
Expensive to maintain, let me guess.
They also said that they were trying to entertain children in an age of iPads and smartphones. So kids are like, to sit down and watch an animatronic show for like a kid now. Can you imagine your children just sitting there for 20 minutes?
I think they would like it, though they don't have iPads.
Yeah,
but
maybe
I feel like that it's so novel that like a kid, you're used to seeing anything on it. I feel like seeing like a giant rope, maybe they would cry, maybe it would be scary. I don't know.
Maybe it's a Hazinga, but the numbers are not saying that it is, because they are making a lot of money. They've introduced trampolines, which they are very proud of. And we'll get to cost later. Trampolines are not included in anything. They are a completely separate fee. You do not get a free trampoline at Chuck E. Cheese.
Why are trampolines so expensive?
I don't know.
That is crazy.
But now, like, I encourage you, once you do finally get up and back in your car and get home, go to the Chuck E. Cheese YouTube page. There are so many videos.
That is so funny.
It's almost like they're trying to be like a kid's show. It's like cartoons. Chuck E. Cheese.
I mean, we know what like trampolines are. Oh, not just about trampolines.
No.
They were just like...
No, there's like how to do the Chuck E. Cheese dance. And like, funny. I'm watching it. It's like, God, it's like I hate kid shows so much. I mean, I know they're so good for kids, but they're like, and like you eat pizza like this. So let's all do this. And then they turn that into a dance.
They're
and like,
trying to like...
You shake the parm.
Hook kids into like the Chuck E. Cheese as like a mascot. Like you would want to go to Disneyland to see your favorite Disney characters.
100%. That's what it's like now. Because now at the parties, someone does come out dressed as Chuck E. Cheese.
Oh, that's fun. Yeah, definitely. I'm glad they kept that. It's not like a hologram.
It's not a hologram. There are videos. They have a big screen.
Take a green screen selfie.
I mean, I gotta say, I wouldn't mind a hologram. Like if it's like Star Wars hologram where it looks like it's in the middle of the room.
Yeah, that would be cool.
All right, so now you've got both of our histories. They both started about the same time. Mine's obviously a lot more interesting, but now they're both doing well.
Yours has more, I would say, twists and turns.
You know, it's just all about how you tell a story.
That is really exciting.
Now, I don't know.
Surprises.
Did you do any breakdown on like how, if you were to have a party there, like how that works or what the cost is or things like that?
So the party packages, in my understanding, to get the price of the adult party package, you have to submit like a form. It's not
like
it's
your
not
taxes?
made public. You have to submit your taxes. It's around $30 a person for kids. So I don't know if the price changes for adults it was a few years ago, not 14 years ago when I had mine. Okay. But I'm sure it was somewhat reasonably priced. But
wait, you're 40? Oh yeah, that's right.
You think I'm 44?
That was the joke. I never even knew if you got it.
But do you think I am 44?
No, I think you're like 38. No, you're 32.
But you shouldn't think I am. You should think I'm
You
29.
look 43. But
starting at $29.99 per person for a kid's birthday party. It goes up for adults because you could get like drink packages and so things like that. You would need to get in touch with your designated party planner. But in my experience, it was pretty reasonable. Are we talking about price in general here? Or you just want to talk about like the play experience?
Well, here, why don't I break down my pricing because it's really easy to understand.
Great.
Okay, so if you're going to Chuck E. Cheese and you want to have a party, You can definitely just get the fun package. That's $99, and that will allow you to have a party for your birthday star. That's what they're called.
Okay.
And 5 additional kids. If you want any additional kids after that, it's $20 per person. That's going to get you 2 hours of play. That's going to get you a Play Pass card for each kid. Unlimited soft drinks, because what parent doesn't want their kid to have unlimited soda? And then each kid will get an extra 100 tickets, which I do like that they're throwing tickets out at people.
They're throwing tickets. That's interesting. And I didn't even, so the price of the games is included in that. That's interesting.
You get a decorated table, and then the birthday star will also get 1,000 extra tickets, a ticket blast experience where you get to go in like the game show, like tube of tickets and try to grab whatever you want, and then a collectible star play band that you wear.
Cute.
Now, just so you know, this does not include any pizza. Okay, so let's say you...
What about trampolines?
No trampolines or pizza, and you do not get a host. Okay.
Okay.
So if you want those things, then you're probably want to go up to the mega fun plan. Now, this is going to be $34 a kid. You're going to get everything that you got before, but now each kid will also get 2 slices of pizza.
Okay.
I did watch
2?
2 slices. I did watch a YouTube about it, and the mom said some of the slices are very
How
small.
skinny are these slices?
Some of them are very small. There have been rumors over the years that when you get a pizza at Chuck E. Cheese, it's sometimes assembled from leftover slices from people. This has not been confirmed.
No.
That
would be so obvious.
Well, I did watch a video where there was one piece that did not look like it belonged. Now, with the mega package, you also get 1 additional large pizza for extra slices or for the adults. Each kid now gets 250 e-tickets. They all get a collectible cup with their unlimited sodas.
Ooh, collectible cup. Your ears are perking.
They do get a party host, and they get Dippin' Dots. The birthday kid will now get 2,000 tickets. They also get to do the blast experience now with twice as many tickets inside of it and a tote bag.
Okay, I'm hearing collectible cup and I'm hearing tote bag. I think your next birthday party might be at Chuck E. Cheese.
It's going to be the mega.
Well, is that it? Is that as good as it can get?
Of course not, because there's also one more tier. If all of that is not enough for you, of course you're going to want to step into our ultimate fun plan.
Okay.
This is now $40 a kid. You're going to get everything that we mentioned before. You're still going to get double tickets. You're going to get the tote bag. You're going to get all the other things. Now every kid is also going to get a goodie bag. You're going to get 2 large pizzas. Each kid will now get 500 bonus tickets. The birthday kid will get 4,000 bonus tickets.
Wow.
And they will also get 1 bronze 2-month fun pass that they can come back and use at Chuck E. Cheese anytime.
Wow.
A $60 value. I hope that this all made sense to you. It's very easy to understand. If not, I'm happy to go through it again.
That's interesting. So I'm looking at the kids. I didn't know how granular we were going to get with the features of each party tier. But it's interesting how they break it down, because Dave & Buster's, the minimum price, as I said, was $29.99. You can have 10 to 20 guests.
Wow.
You get choice of pepperoni or cheese flatbread pizza.
Flatbread. Okay.
French fries, unlimited soft drinks. Dave & Buster's is I'm sure we'll talk about food, very well praised for their food. They had a kind of a reimagining of their menu a couple years ago, so apparently it's even better than ever. Unlimited free soft drinks. Again, what parent doesn't want their kid having unlimited Coca-Cola Classic?
You know what I'm hearing? Ice-capade. I am sneaking into Chuck E. Cheese ASAP to see if I can get some ice.
You think they let the kids access the soda fountain?
Rob, who is that vampire over at the soda machine?
Sir, you need a child with you to enter. The birthday kid gets a $30 power card with unlimited video game play. So that's the games that do not yield any tickets. And a power tap band, which I guess is just like a fun way to like charge up, pay your thing.
Yeah.
$25 power card for the guests. No tickets. No free tickets. They're not giving out, even at the... Really, the only thing that changes as you go up is the food and like the dollar amount of the power card. Like even at the $38.99 package, you're getting choice of pepperoni or ultimate cheese flatbread, boneless wings with ranch, mini pretzel buns with ketchup.
Those are nuggies. I hate it when they even call them wings. They're nuggies.
It's because grown-ups like don't want to eat nuggies.
Wings have bones.
Wings have bones.
Wings have bones.
Garlic butter pretzel sticks. I love how predominant pretzel is in the menu. I find that to be quite fun.
We don't have a pretzel.
French fries, unlimited soft drinks. Birthday kid gets $50 power card, unlimited video game play, power tap band. Guest $35 power card. So they're a little more stingy with the prizes. I will say the prizes at Dave & Buster's
are probably better.
They like you can get an iPad. You can get like a PS5.
Nobody on earth has walked out of a Dave & Buster's with and if they did,
John.
it was an iPad 1.
No, I'm telling you, the fandom of Dave & Buster's, it is an addiction for many adults. And there are people who are dropping quite a bit of coin at DMB to the point where
buy an iPad on Black Friday.
If you go to the Dave & Buster's Reddit and you search addict or addiction, there are copious threads of people saying this has I plan my vacations around Wednesdays when Dave & Buster's has half price nights. Like Wednesdays is like half price day. That's like when all the freaks go.
That's good. Freaks.
Freaks in the mean way. Yeah. People are like, they are revolving their entire lives around Dave. If they're like traveling, they're like, how close am I to a Dave & Buster's? Like, it is a problem for some people.
That's fascinating.
It's
I don't think Chuck E. Cheese has that issue. It's a 2-hour party. You're there from like 12 to 2. Yes. If you have gotten the tier where you have a host, they clean up for you. I would like to talk about food very quickly.
Yes.
Kind of the basic things. Of course, you have pizza. They've invested in a new recipe. They even offer gluten-free pizza now.
That's nice.
But I do have to warn you, the pizza is prepared in a shared kitchen, and we cannot guarantee that your pizza will actually not have any gluten.
Okay, that is smart.
They also have a 5-meat pizza, which they say is absolute meat satisfaction.
Okay, now
You've got pepperoni. You've got sausage, bacon, ham, and beef. And they work together.
Just like
hamburger.
I think that's too many meats for like a 7-year-old.
According to them, it's absolute meat satisfaction. You have your normal appetizers, wings, cheesy bread, fries, salad. You have desserts. You can get a cake that has an edible picture on it of Barbie, of Chuck E. Cheese, Paw Patrol, Batman, Hello Kitty, PJ Masks. I don't know who that is. That must be someone very new. You're going to love this. A giant cookie that is cut in slices like a pizza.
I do love that.
I know that we've gotten the Pizookie before.
Yes. God, I love a Pizookie. BJ's is just unbelievable.
I love a BJ's. You can also get unicorn churros, which are churros
that sounds fun.
Dusted with cotton candy, sour apple, and blue raspberry sugar.
Oh.
Dippin' Dots, as we mentioned before. And now, what they are very proud to offer are slices of Buddy V's cake. These are those sad cakes that we see in the vending machines at Vegas, the rainbow cake.
Yes.
They are very probably overpriced and not that delicious.
That's interesting. Wow, they're cashing in on like the Cake Boss got a licensing at Chuck E. Cheese.
They
Good for
did.
him.
And beer and wine at select locations. I'm assuming you guys offer alcohol.
Alcohol is a pretty big part of the menu at Dave & Buster's. Let's just say you go to Dave & Buster's to get pretty up.
Yeah, Chuck E. Cheese does not seem like a place you go to drink. Like maybe I could see maybe some moms having sad dads with a beer and sad moms with some wine.
With some wine for sure.
It's Saturday, but you're like, it's 11. It's Saturday. I'm not judging.
So the menu at Dave & Buster's, it looks pretty good. They have, you can DoorDash Dave & Buster's, which it sounds like you can do through Chuck E. Cheese, through their Pasquales, through their secret menu, but you can order Dave & Buster's for delivery. They're famous for their boneless wings, bone-in wings as well, chicken cantina nachos, smokehouse ribs, pretzel dogs. I mean, all that like typical like bar food, like chicken strips, burgers, things like that. They are famous for their mozzarella sticks, for how thick and stretchy they are. Where do you stand on a mozzarella stick?
I always assume, like mac and cheese, I'm going to be disappointed in them. And so when I'm not, I'm really happy by them. It also has a lot to do with the marinara that you get with it.
Oh, yeah. Like if it's like cheap marinara, it's not good.
I kind of like a sweet marinara with a mozzarella stick. I got mozzarella sticks at a fancy place. I mean, it's not fancy. Took over the Arby's, but it's like... I know, but it's like a fancier place than like a Pizza Hut. It's like... Whatever.
What is it called?
I'm trying to remember.
Is it a chain or like a one thing?
No, it's like there's a few here and I think some in New York, but they have a smoked mozzarella stick.
Ooh, that sounds good.
It's not. I don't like that smoked flavor.
Fake, a little artificial.
It's like a little too, like it was too close to a campfire.
Yeah, I get you. Yeah, I honestly, I think the Trader Joe's mozzarella sticks are pretty good.
I've heard that. I have
really
not gotten them though.
If they're too cheesy, sometimes it can be like, because you're like a cheese meister. Like the way you order cheese.
It's never enough.
It's never enough. Like the Costco cheese pizza where it's like
a half an inch thick.
Not
You're like
enough.
child's play.
Not enough.
Double
When I
that.
order pizza at Blaze, I'm like, can I get a cheese pizza, replace the crust with cheese and the sauce with cheese?
So it seems like mozzarella sticks would be up your alley. I think you might like the mozzarella sticks from Dave & Buster's. They have a really good pull.
I like the mozzarella
That's what they
sticks at
say.
White Castle, not going to lie. And those are cheapies.
Yeah, those are probably a little bit cheaper. Their desserts look great. They have a strawberry shortcake, a s'mores cheesecake, and funnel cake fries, which seems fun. So they're kind of like elevating these typical kind of like bar, like amusement parky kind of food. But they do have like a lot of like a Southwest salmon bowl. Imagine like you work in an office and you're door dashing Dave & Buster's Southwest salmon bowl for lunch.
That's like, for some reason, that sounds like something you would get on a Delta flight.
It really, a lot of the food does seem like Delta, but people say it's really good. So I think they have upped their game recently. They want to compete because we know these kind of like fast casual dining places, like it's tough to compete. So the food has to be good. It's expensive. It's not cheap.
Yeah.
So it has to be good. And I think they're catching on to that.
Well, good for them.
They have a fantastic deal, which is the Eat and Play combo menu. So this is like where you can get a half a rack of smokehouse ribs or sliders or boneless wings or chicken strips, and then you can get a discounted game ticket. So this is like the Eat and Play combo is what the addicts really go for, as well as the half price Wednesdays.
Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and throw this out there.
Sure.
I think you win on food. I don't know that there's going to be a competition on that.
I would agree with you on that, yeah.
I do feel like we're kind of geared towards kids. I'm surprised they don't offer like plain noodles.
That is true. That is true.
But that's okay, because I think I'm going to skunk you on the next category.
Okay.
And that is slogans.
Oh.
So they've had several slogans over the years, but there is one that is so perfect. I put it up there in probably the top 10 slogans.
Okay.
It's not this one, but I do also think this one is great. When you're hungry for fun. I mean, perfect.
That is really good.
That really sums it up. That's great. But here, I'd like to play you what I consider to be one of the best slogans there is.
Okay.
And this is a very short little commercial.
Want one good reason to go to Chuck E. Cheese's? Chuck E. Cheese, where a kid can be a kid.
Where a kid can be a kid.
That's the one I remember from my childhood.
That's all they want. They're having to do they're having to go to church. They're having to go to school. This is the one place, Mom, Dad, I can just be me.
Mom, order a white wine. Dad, pour yourself a frosty brewski.
You know
I'm
what?
going to be taking a crap in the ball pit.
I mean, where a kid can be a kid. It's up there with like what's another good all the other good ones that I can't think of right now.
Just do it.
Just do it.
That's good, yeah.
Whatever Apple's was. Just listen to it.
That is really good. That's really good. I will say it evokes a lot. It's nostalgic for me personally. I had my 5th birthday party there, so I feel really connected to it.
7 words to sum all that up and to create all the nostalgia for I know that everyone that's still
Sure.
pulled over is like, oh my God, I had not thought about that in 30 years.
Well, how about this
All
slogan?
right.
What they did in 7, we did in 3.
Oh no.
Eat, drink,
Play. Yeah, that is
Eat, drink, play.
yeah.
Straight and to the point. There's periods in between every words. I think they're trying to get that Pottery Barn discount.
Yeah, I mean, sure. That tells you what you can do there. Is it iconic? Does it make me nostalgic? Does it give me the feels?
No, we're not getting all of them. We might be getting one feel. I don't know if we're getting all of them.
No, that feels very corporate. I think I'm going to win that one.
That's interesting. In the 90s, so my 5th birthday party, so it was in 1991. And this was at the same time that Planet Hollywood, Hard Rock Cafe, all of these like experiential dining restaurants, they were all kind of like coming up at the same time. Obviously not all of them made it. I mourn the loss of Rainforest Cafe. It was like there was a big push to like make going out to a restaurant like closer to like an amusement park experience. And that was a really, really fun time. I feel like we really lost that.
There was a Rainforest Cafe here when I moved to LA. We had one in like Culver City, or whatever that was, West LA.
Yeah.
You know what I miss, and I'm looking it up real quick to see if there is still, I feel like there may still be one, was Farrell's Ice Cream Parlor.
Ooh.
And I know that,
I know. I've been here. Yeah.
I know that they were in California. We had one in Tri-County in Cincinnati. It was like it was the place to go for your birthday. And like you would go, and then like if it was your birthday, they would bring you out. I mean, I assumed you had to order it, but like they would bring you out this huge sundae. And the way I remember it, they came out like a marching band. Like it was like everyone's like playing instruments and singing. And the first time it happened to me, I was scared to death. I was
You thought they were going to kill you?
Yeah. It's like, what? It was like so intense. But then it's like they have, I know I brought this up before. They had like the old timey candy shop where I would get like the softball size jawbreaker that I would have for the next 2 years. It would be under my
Your
bed.
tongue is bleeding and raw.
You just keep licking it and trying to get all the different layers. But yeah, Farrell's Ice Cream Parlor.
That's so fun. I know. I feel like we really lost that.
Yeah, we've lost a lot of that kind of like go have fun. And now it's like backyard birthday parties, pick the theme. Isn't your son, you have a birthday coming up next week?
I have a birthday. No, it's actually tomorrow.
Tomorrow,
yeah. So I am deep in the throes of party planning. Our theme, what better theme for a May birthday than Halloween?
Your mom, I saw your mom gave your son like this little Halloween toy last week, and I was like, this seems old. And then I was like, oh, right, this is like.
It's fresh out of the box. We are getting, and you'd think there'd be better deals, but nope. Halloween costs the same no matter what time of year.
That's so funny.
Round. So Chuck E. Cheese, sure, they have a ball pit, they have trampolines. We've heard.
Now. They cost extra. They have, I didn't even get into the games, but obviously they have they've got, like, it's kind of varies per location, but you can assume you'll probably find skee ball. You'll find maybe air hockey at some of them. Classic arcade games. You've got racing games. You've got all the normal things that kids want to play. That I should have probably gotten more into that, but that's kind of a given.
I think of Big Bertha is the game that I played. Gosh, let me look that up really quick. Big Bertha.
You know what I think is kind of sad though, because I do really like that Chuck E. Cheese is throwing tickets at kids. Like the more you pay, they'll just like, here's 5,000 tickets, go get something good. What is sad to me is, and it's I'm sure better for the environment, is the tickets are all e-tickets now. So it's like on an app. Like there was something so fun about being a kid and like you play skee ball and like one game like one ticket's like, and then another time like 70 come out and you're like, oh, it's like it was such a thrilling.
When they are piling up on the floor and kind of like zigzagging, like self folding. God, it's just the best. This was Big. Oh, I can't turn my computer around. Big Bertha was a game where you throw balls into Big Bertha's mouth, and obviously she has a big mouth. She's like, "I'm hungry," and then like you feed her balls, and she gets bigger and bigger and bigger.
I can see why you would like that.
God, I love Big Bertha. So you have.
You said, "God, I love big balls."
God, I love big balls. So you have Big Bertha. You have the trampoline. Do you have a human-sized claw machine?
No, and I have seen that, and that's good.
That's pretty fun. So these are rolling out. They're not yet at our local Dave & Buster's, which is on Hollywood Boulevard.
They're not out?
No, they're rolling out. They're rolling out. They're in many locations nationwide, but they're not yet at our local Dave & Buster's, so I haven't been able to try it. You get strapped into some kind of Tom Cruise-esque rig and lowered into a pit of like inflatable aliens and like pretty large prizes in relation to your body size. And you are trying to grab them like you are a human claw.
That's super fun. And you get to keep as many as you can grab, right?
I think so.
I will say, I did really love the idea of the little tornado you get to be in to grab tickets as a kid. But then I saw a video of a kid who I'm assuming bought the cheapest tier, and there was like 12 tickets in it. And the kid, like the wind was so intense. Like the kid just like, he was like covering his eyes. And I think he managed to grab one and put it in his pocket. But I did also read that like after it's done, they kind of just let you like go down and like scoop up the tickets.
I would hope so. Because like you get like 200 tickets and it's like, do you want like one pencil eraser?
Do you want a finger trap?
Yes.
Are they still giving out finger traps?
They do.
I feel like Chuck E. Cheese is to me with the like I am with the Insta egg. Like we want you to succeed.
Yes,
like we will get you across the finish line, whatever it takes.
I love that. I love that.
Yeah.
Something else that I'm confident that Chuck E. Cheese doesn't have. A major partnership with UFC. Major fights, pay-per-view broadcasts throughout the country at every Dave & Buster's location. Yes, on fight night, there is no better place to be than bellied up to the bar at Dave & Buster's for a strawberry margarita with strawberry-infused ice cubes.
I do like straw. I mean,
do you like a fancy ice?
I would put up with sports to have a fancy ice.
You know what I love? I mean, I so rarely go to a bar, but if you get that round ball,
I don't know. It's kind of intimidating.
It is?
Yeah.
You don't have to like suck
I feel like it takes up like. I feel like it takes up so much of the glass.
You think it's a scam?
I feel like you get so much less. I'm in it for like quantity of beverage.
That's true. I've seen you so many times at a restaurant telling the server, you say, listen, I want 1 Diet Coke. Keep them coming.
Just like, don't give me the tall, slender glass. Just give me give me a pint glass.
You know that pitcher that you're using to dispense water? Fill that up with Diet Coke. Leave it on the table, and you never have to hear from me again.
There was one Thai restaurant in Hollywood years ago that, and anytime we would go there for lunch, they would bring me a glass of Diet Coke, a carafe of Diet Coke. And when you got the pad Thai, they somehow made a curly Q of carrot that if you held it out was like 4 feet long. And it was like my favorite place to go to lunch, and they closed down.
Oh, that's so fun.
I miss it to this day.
That's a bummer.
So, yeah. So, sure, you have maybe a couple funner games, but you've got annoying drunk people.
That is true.
We have annoying children.
That's true.
I feel like it's kind of even. The histories are similar.
Tough.
I do feel like my history would make a better
It
film.
has twists and turns for sure.
Yours might make a better kind of like if you throw in where they're like, this is based on a story, but like you could probably do like a small series on yours. Mine would make a great movie.
Yeah, mine would be a good like sitcom on Peacock.
Yeah, probably a Peacock sitcom, and mine was like a Netflix series.
What about viral moments? Are there any Chuck E. Cheese games that have taken the web by storm, or any particular elements of Chuck E. Cheese? I have one to share if you don't mind.
No, please do. While I quickly see if I can find one to beat that.
It's okay if you don't have one. I just happened to come across this in the news. So a couple years ago on TikTok, there was a channel that popped up called Dave and Buster Boys. Do you remember this coming up on TikTok?
No.
This channel documented the journey of 3 creators who made it their mission to secretly ferment kimchi at a local Dave & Buster's. So kimchi, if you're not familiar, it's a fermented cabbage, and it has to be burped once a day, burped meaning the bottle open and then closed again, during its fermentation process to let out any excess gases that build up during the process.
Don't we all?
On day 2 of the experiment, 1.6 million viewers watched this guy Isaacson checking on his kimchi. He's like, day 2 of making kimchi at a Dave & Buster's. He goes by to like a game behind in the shop. He goes behind where like by the plugs, and he like burps his kimchi and puts it back. Now it's gone viral. Dave & Buster's is commenting, "Sir, please don't burp your kimchi here. And what can we do to make this all go away?" So Dave & Buster's, they're pretty lighthearted about it, but they're definitely wanting it to end. Isaacson has the upper hand. They're kind of playing up the seriousness of it. On day 4, they gave the company an ultimatum. They said, "We will halt our experiment of burping kimchi in your Dave & Buster's if you give us this highly coveted whiskey set prize," which is a decanter and 4 glasses in a leather briefcase, and it is worth 8,000 tickets.
What?
So you can also buy them on eBay for $300. So after 58 days of this, Dave & Buster's made the deal. He went to Dave & Buster's where he'd been burping his kimchi, and he received his prize.
He got it?
He got it, yeah.
He like blackmailed them and won?
Yes, he did. He blackmailed them and won.
So basically you're saying that Dave & Buster's gives in to terrorists.
They do, yeah. I don't know how Chuck E. Cheese feels about threats.
Well, I don't know if
they're so quick to cave.
I'm not sure if I have a viral moment like that, but I did read yesterday. I was reading through some customer reviews, and one person did say that they would not go to Chuck E. Cheese unless you like the smell of feet. And then they posted a picture of a socked child's foot.
That's very funny.
So we have that going for us. I will say there's something about Chuck E. Cheese and probably Dave & Buster's, if I saw it with all the lights on.
Yes.
That feels kind of like a game room that's been made in an office. Like it's like that crappy carpet that has to be, I'm sure it gets puked and peed on all the time. So they have to be able to wash it. It's all kind of like, I don't know. I call it like stock footagey, like cheap, office-y.
Sure.
Crappy build.
It's a place that you're kind of there.
You're there for 2 hours.
For 2 hours.
You're renting it for 2 hours. It's
Sure.
like we work for parties.
Exactly. Exactly. I don't know what the recurring patronship is at Chuck E. Cheese, but
Well, I can answer that for you.
Go for it.
Because that is something that has come up recently with part of this whole new revamp. So apparently the average customer would come to Chuck E. Cheese 2 to 3 times a year, which is why they wanted...
That feels like a lot.
I mean, if you've got 2 kids, you have a
guess
couple
so,
parties
yeah,
there.
sure.
But that is why they have introduced, I said in that one package that you can get like a 2-month pass. In the last few years, they've introduced passes.
Oh, cool.
So you can get like a couple, you can get, depending on how much you want to spend, you can get a couple months or 3 months or whatever and come in and play as much as you want. Those have been so successful. Like, it was like, I don't have the numbers in front of me and I apologize, but it was something like in the first year they sold like 40,000 of them. In the second year they sold like 100,000 of them. They're doing so well, they're now selling annual passes. So they're basically trying to make it so it's not, people like us aren't just seeing it as like a place you go for your kids' party. Like you can stop in there just to play some games.
That's a really smart idea, especially on like a hot day or if the inclement weather. Like it's good to have a nice indoor option where you can just, you have a annual pass. That's really, really smart.
I will say, you probably did not experience this growing up here. Maybe you did. In the Midwest, I grew up in Westchester, Ohio. We had an arcade that was about a mile from us. And I am of the generation where, you know, in the summer, when the sun comes up, we're gone. Like I just got my group of friends. We would walk to the arcade. We had an arcade in Tri-County by Van Luden's. Like arcades were so in our DNA.
God,
and
someone should open up an arcade in our neighborhood.
Oh my God. Well, we had Smash Button over in Echo Park.
I want one like a
but
block
it
away.
closed. Like so, and that was like an amazing arcade that had all the vintage games. They were still only a quarter.
Yeah.
And I don't think it lasted, which sucks. But
they needed a giant 4x6 foot Flappy Bird.
Yeah, I have to be able to like put on virtual wings and try to knock down a pig house.
VR headset.
It's too much now. But there is something about, and what I found so fascinating about those old arcade games is like they were designed to be hard. Like because all they wanted was your quarter. So they didn't want you to be able to play forever.
For sure.
And speaking of playing forever, just a side note, if you haven't seen King of Kong, please.
Oh my God.
I mean, I haven't seen it since the one time I watched it, but I remember loving it so much.
We should rewatch that because that movie I think I've only seen it once also, and it was maybe my favorite documentary I've ever seen.
Maybe that's what we should live. We were talking about live streaming a movie,
fun.
King of Kong. If you haven't watched it, get in your car, go home, stop at the library, rent it. Well, do we have anything else to battle? Should we do final thoughts?
Yeah, I have a review to read. Do you have a review?
I pulled one.
Okay, my review will kind of like sum it up, I'll say.
Okay.
And in my final thoughts, I will pass the baton to Chris B. from Canoga Park, California.
Okay.
I absolutely love Dave & Buster's. They have the best happy hour, and all of their staff is super attentive and accommodating. Their deals are phenomenal, and their food is really good. Everything from their steak bowls to their wings are top notch! Exclamation point. It's always a blast and a treat for me to come into this restaurant because their ambiance is so relaxed and truly a blast. The value here is beyond exceptional, and everyone from the managers, the bartenders, and the hosts are truly the most kindest people I've ever encountered as a local on Hollywood Boulevard. Thanks for being my all-time favorite hangout spot.
Wow. Wow. I hope you find someone. Wow. Okay. I also have one review to read.
Okay.
I only skimmed it yesterday, so we'll see if it's good enough.
Okay.
And I didn't write down her name, but I remember it being a woman.
Sure.
The 90s are back and just as fun. I was a little worried taking my child here, given some of the reviews were not very positive. However, it turned out to be a lot of fun. Chuck E. Cheese is just as I remember it. Pizza, soda, and lots of arcade games.
Fun.
And Chuck E. Cheese himself even made an appearance.
Wow.
The service is very basic. You walk in, order at the front, find a seat. When your buzzer goes off, you go to the counter. She did not get the mega plan. Everything is self-served, which is understandable since they don't leave room on the bill for you to leave gratuity. I was pleasantly surprised that the arcade games were so affordable. They charge about 1 point per game, so the package I got came with 100 points, which gives you 100 games.
That's fun.
Needless to say, we didn't even use half that card.
Wow.
I'm sure the kids would have.
Yeah.
But she's like, we gotta go.
We gotta go. Get out of here.
Get out of here. Save it for next time. She loses it in the laundry. The ambiance is very kid-friendly. Every child is running, screaming, and seemingly having a great time. Given that it can be difficult to have a conversation since it's so loud, I took a star off for the for the $10.99 slice of frozen pre-packaged rainbow birthday cake. And the buffalo sauce for the chicken wings under mild is spicy for a child.
Okay.
Overall, this is a great place to spend a birthday party or just a family-friendly Saturday night.
So I love that. It's like she had like 4 complaints, but still 5 stars.
4 complaints, but still 5 stars.
I love that.
Good for her.
You know
man.
what? I have one other review that it's just I just have to read it because this is like my favorite kind of review. It's from Sandra G in Bakersfield. She says, I just love how strongly I have to feel about something to leave a review. You know, it's like I have to be like, this is like my friend's business I want to promote.
I've left like 7 reviews my entire life.
Sandra G, I have to look at her other reviews. I'm sure they're equally as good. I had no idea this location was here, but we ended up here anyways. And the pizza is to die for. I mean, the flatbread. I don't have a photo of it because my boyfriend ordered it and I just had 1 piece. But trust me, 5 stars. I'm like, why are you compelled to share that? I mean, the flatbread. I just love it.
My favorite is like the reviews that are like giving it 4 stars because it was hot outside. It's like, what does that have to do with anything?
Angie R, I gotta read one more. Los Angeles said, 5 stars. Carla was absolutely amazing. She helped me find my lost phone and I couldn't be more grateful. She went above and beyond to help me. Thank you. Wonderful person. 5 stars. They help me find her phone. Anyway, we're going long on time. That's what I have for Dave & Buster's. If you have an experience there, I would love to hear it. And everybody can vote on it'll be on Instagram, right? On
yeah,
Instagram,
we'll do a poll on Instagram. You can decide which place you'd rather have a party, or if you feel like it's equal. I guess it just depends on your circumstance. Or no, maybe we should make it equal. Maybe we should really pick a winner. I don't know. We'll decide next week.
Sure.
When we post it. But yeah, that's what we've got.
This might reveal how many children listen to the show.
Yeah.
I vote Chuck E. Cheese because I'm 7. It's like, why are you listening to this?
I choose Dave & Buster's because I own a flatbread company. Okay, well, I can't wait to see who everyone votes for. Obviously, it's going to be Chuck E. Cheese because, I mean, that history is crazy. You have Steve Jobs, you have everything, but we'll talk about it. You guys figure it out. All right, but before we go, I want to give the shout-outs to our Insta Egg winners for this week, our Freaks of the Week. This is for the Play-Doh Insta Egg, which was a picture of children playing and a pile of dough. It couldn't have been easier. And these are the 5 people that not only got it right and made it into our Wheel of Freaks, but they also got picked. We have Diamond Joe. We have Caitlin Biskin. We have Barbara. We have... Why are you laughing at Barbara?
I don't know. It's just like for only a first name.
I hate when there's only first name because then someone will be like, wait, was that Barbara me? I'm like, I don't know. There's 3 Barbaras. There's Elisa Elaine and Britt Archer. So thank you so much for playing the Insta. If you're not familiar, every Wednesday on our Instagram story, I post a Insta Egg, which is a puzzle that allows you to figure out what our brand is going to be that week. If you get it right, I'll send you a fun little freak badge and your name will get added to our Wheel of Freaks. And every week we pick 5 people to be our Freaks of the Week. So please do that. Also check out our Instagram every week for our supplemental material posts, which gives you pictures and news and stuff from the episode that we did most recently. Those are really fun to look at. Oh, and I also want to give a shout out to Nightmare Sally, who wrote us on YouTube. And she said, seeing Jon do an okay is so much better than just hearing it, and that she now does an okay around her kids, and now they do it too. Oh. So I gotta say, I read that and I was like, I'm a dad.
You're influential in a child's life.
It just cracked me up that there's like 4 people somewhere in the country that I don't know that are like, okay.
I love that.
So thanks for sharing that comment.
We're all giving shout outs. I'd like to give a shout out. I'm going to do something a little different. We're a little slow on the Apple reviews coming in. I want to give a shout out to our family friends, Steve and Wendy Flowers, listeners of the pod, who I've visited with when I was in Oklahoma, and they're great. And hi, Steve. Hi, Wendy. Thanks for listening.
I love Steve and Wendy, and I follow them on Facebook, and I love always seeing Wendy's post about flowers that are blooming or trees that are in bloom, and it's always like some fun nature thing.
It's so sweet. We had the best visit with them. Steve Flowers, they're both avid collectors, so Steve really relates to your collector spirit. He collects rare bills. Wendy collects clocks, interesting clocks and spoons, and among other things. So they're great. And
rare bills, like bills from like companies that don't exist anymore. Like I got an old steam engine bill. Or dollar bills.
Dollar bills. Interesting coins.
Steve, if you ever want to pass those collections on, I have a storage unit that can definitely hold some old bills.
All right, good to know. Or old bills like Clinton.
I open it up and there's just like 9 peeps and Bill Clinton.
All right. With that, we'll be back next week with an all-new episode. Don't forget to vote for the winner of the Battle of the Brands.
Yes, and thank you sincerely. I know I thank everyone a lot, but I love that we've done this for 2 years and that you guys are sticking around to listen to it. So thank you for getting us to our second year.
Yay!
And just remember, we may go off topic, but we will always be on brand.
Bye.
Goodbye.